Hello everyone, welcome to our little Bible study. Today we are doing 2 Chronicles chapter 8, and it's a somewhat short chapter. Let's see if we can do this video in one take. This could be a horrible disaster, but we'll give it a try. Our PDF is available on our website at tobelikechrist.com. When did these events happen? Same as the last 5-6 chapters. Solomon reigned for 40 years in Israel. He's the king at the time. His reign lasted for 40 years, as I just mentioned. This is why I don't do videos in one take. From about 1015 to 975 BC. This is right about in the middle of his reign. So I almost took a pause there, but no, we must continue on. Our main characters for today: Solomon, the third king of Israel and Judah. He's the last king of the united kingdom of Israel and Judah because they're going to split in the coming generation when Solomon's son takes the throne. Hiram is the king of Tyre. He was an ally of David's, an ally of Solomon's, and he helped Solomon in all of his building projects and a lot of the ambitious things that he undertook that we're going to talk about in this chapter. And then Pharaoh's daughter. Pharaoh, you probably know, is king of Egypt. Pharaoh gave his daughter to Solomon, and they got married in a marriage alliance between Israel and Egypt. Okay, so where? Where on our map are we going to be located? Well, actually, not all the places we're going to talk about today are going to fit on the map. There's several that are all over the place, and some where we don't even know exactly where they were. So first of all, Solomon's house and the temple, those were in Jerusalem. That was the capital of Solomon's kingdom. Solomon built ships at a place called Ezion-Geber. Now, this is about 200 to 250 miles south of Jerusalem on the coast of the Red Sea. So the kingdom of Israel is expanding very much to the south. And then there's a place called Ophir mentioned in verse 18. This was likely the name of a region rather than an actual city, and nobody knows exactly where it was. Theories propose that it was in Arabia or India, or some people even say that it was in the Philippines. So nobody knows exactly as of now. Probably have to wait on some more historical and archaeological evidence to figure that one out. Now, we go over to page number 2. I'm out of breath. Verses 1 through 18. Everything is under one section heading here: Solomon's accomplishments and the growth of his kingdom. So after 20 years, so that's why I mentioned it's about halfway through Solomon's kingdom, or his reign that we're talking about here. After 20 years of building the temple and his palace, he was finally completed with those two magnificent projects. Solomon undertook a variety of improvements to the territories that were under his control. And of course, this probably spanned several years. He renovated places like Hamath and Tadmor. That sounds very English. Let us go to Tadmor. Sorry. Upper Beth Horon, Lower Beth Horon, and he fortified other cities that were in the area of Israel and in Lebanon, which was Hiram's territory. To do much of this work, he drafted people from the nation of the Hittites, the Amorites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, the Jebusites, who lived in Israel. And these were the descendants of the foreign nations that the Israelites failed to drive out when they originally took control of the Promised Land. And so now Solomon is drafting them to do this work. The people of Israel worked as soldiers and officers and commanders and horsemen in Israel. Solomon appointed priests to be responsible for all of the sacrifices that were supposed to be offered at the temple every day according to the law of God. These priests ministered during the holy days, the Sabbaths, the new moons, and the 3 annual feasts. You remember what those are? The 3 feasts where everyone was supposed to assemble in Jerusalem: the Feast of Unleavened Bread, the Feast of Weeks, and the Feast of Booths. According to 1 Kings, which is there's a parallel chapter in 1 Kings to this chapter, Solomon traveled to Ezion-Geber, which is that city way down south on the Red Sea. He had a fleet of ships there. We're also told that Solomon's ships traveled to Ophir, that unknown land, and brought back 450 talents of gold. That's approximately 33,750 pounds, or 15,308 kilograms. So a massive amount of gold. Needless to say, Solomon in his kingdom, very, very rich. So that is 2 Chronicles chapter 8. Now all we have left is our application section. Solomon was obviously a very ambitious man. He had building projects in the north, he had fleets of ships in the south, but what we find out is that Solomon would have been better off investing some of that time that he was putting into his ambitions into getting to know God better and drawing closer to the Lord. As you'll know, if you studied 1 Kings and 2 Kings with us, Solomon fell away from the Lord as his reign went on and as it progressed, and especially as he married more and more women who influenced him from foreign nations, women who were into idolatry and things like that. So what we can take from this is that ambition is not in and of itself a bad thing, but ambition needs to be checked when it becomes detrimental to our relationship to God or with God. No career, achievement, or net worth is as important as drawing close to God. Well, there we go. We made it in one take. That's 2 Chronicles chapter 8. Thanks for joining me today. Tomorrow, 2 Chronicles chapter 9.